live on YouTube. Let me fix this a little bit up a little better. Give me a second, folks. You gotta get a bit of UFB. And so this I can get whatever I got. I get a better stand in the future. Um, I'm testing out this new mic. I hope it works. I hope y'all can hear me. Um, I just hit 6,000 subscribers last night. And I've been clocking this since I noticed that I was already at over 5,800, over the 5,800. And it seemed like it just went by fast. I just tell you, folks, it's been barely maybe, when did I actually? I'm just playing with this thing a little bit. Yeah, I'll fix it later. Okay. But I didn't think when I started this content, when I started this channel, I was going to get this far. It seemed like it took me a couple of years to even get to 2,000. It seemed like everything went kind of fast after that. From 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000. Now I'm at 6. Now, to some of you, it may not be much to hit 6,000 subscribers, but for me, it is because I'm not monetized. I do this on my own. I'm not making no money off of it. I could get monetized, but that's money I have to spend. I know that they say that when you do the monetization thing, you have to pay in so you can get something back. So here's the thing is, if I don't make money off of it as much as I like or want, there's no point of me to put money in, but do this for free. And I'm proud of myself. I got my Doc Holliday shirt, says, "I'm in my prime." Remember, if you ever saw the movie Tombstone, classic movie, I talked to somebody, she never saw Tombstone, she's young, she's a woman. But that scene in where they're at the bar and Curly Bill and Johnny Ringo are talking to Doc and Wyatt. And Curly Bill says, Wyatt Earp, Marshall from Dodge City, and said, "Well, retired." That's how Wyatt said. And then Johnny Ringo said to Doc Holliday, says, "Doc Holliday, you retired too?" And Val Kilmer's Doc said, "No, sir, I'm in my prime." I keep they screwed Val Kilmer out of an Oscar that year. He should have won those 2 Oscars, one for playing Jim Morrison in The Doors, and that's and that one for Best Supporting Actor as Doc Holliday in Tombstone. Tombstone is a classic. It is a great movie. I mean, the story of it tells the story of tells the story of how one of the biggest things that made Wyatt Earp a legend was Tombstone. Not just the story about him, when he was in Dodge City, but Tombstone was the one that really made his legend more grandiose, more well known. He was the marshal of Dodge City. He is a mall man, but it was Tombstone that really gave his legend a lot more bigger thing. There's lots of stuff in it that was kind of messed up about it. The movie kind of glossed over some stuff, like stuff he did. His I think it was his second wife was a prostitute. His third wife was an actress, and she also those ladies did that stuff on the side too because it's a way to make money and go because she was an actress, but also she did a little prostitution too. And I think the story said he actually died from was it chlamydia something? With Doc, he died from it's called lung disease. He had tuberculosis, and back then you could die from that. Now it's changed because medicines and things got better. But one thing with Doc was doing, he was drinking, gambling, staying all night, like he was taking himself. He didn't care. Doc, and here's the thing about Doc, he was a dentist. I did an interview with Tessa Patterson, and she studied to become a dentist. And I told her about that. Said, he's one of the most famous dentists in history. And back then, dentists were also doctors because most times there wasn't, especially out in the Wild West, out there in the middle of nowhere, you'd be miles and miles from a real doctor. So you have a dentist who did study enough of the medical stuff of it. Most doctors have to study pretty much everything about the body. Even a dentist has to take boards in, some kind of medical formation because you have to know the body. not just going to work on teeth. They also have to pay attention to person's blood pressure, all the medical stuff. They have to be. That's why they are considered doctors. They can. I won't say they can do surgery, but they can diagnose just as like a regular doctor. So, anyway, um, uh, today I actually yesterday I had an interview with the lovely Miss Braka Jagovovich. I'm sorry, Brock, I messed up your name. It was great. Me and her have been talking on social media for quite a long time. Finally got her on. It was great to have this video. I was gonna I know I usually put something where it's, but I know I should put something in my IG, my YouTube. I do it later. But she is a lovely lady. Her story, how she got into the sport, the what she went through between dealing with an illness, dealing with injury, and still coming in her mid to early 50s and coming back and competing again. She has an amazing body. And I know one thing the concern was that her getting bigger, because she's more, especially at 50, it's going to hard to put on that size because your body starts to deteriorate. You can put on size, but especially it's hard to take it off and it's hard to put it on. I can tell you from experience. I would suggest you go back to WPD. Way WPD is looking, I think you would do well because your conditioning is just crazy. You're never going to really get the mass that she wants, and she doesn't want to go that route. And way WPD is going, and I think concentrate on doing the masters if you can. You can still do open if you want, but concentrate on doing masters. But anyway, I just came out here just to say thank y'all. Thank all of y'all out there who follow my channel, who follow my content, who support what I'm doing, and talking about these women in sport of bodybuilding. Again, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm too hot for some, but I'm just right for others, brother. Oh yeah, I had to call it with my macho man. Yeah, I'm a tower of power, too sweet to be sour. Yeah, brother. Yeah, what? I thank you, little. No pictures to the left of me, no pictures to the right of me. I did it all myself. But I do appreciate my pictures. I do appreciate y'all because starting this thing again. I know I bring it up because if you ever take care of somebody who went through, my mother went through, it can be a lot. You need to find something to give you some kind of release, some kind of just a piece or something. It's tough. It was just a couple weeks ago. It's been her 6 years she passed, my mom. And she may not be a lady, but she was all woman to me. She was she had to do what she had to do. She was not perfect either. That's the thing is, gotta remember, our parents were not perfect. They had to do what they had to do. Now, there's some situations where some people were awful parents and know how to treat you. But then, there are some situations that sometimes our parents had to do things so order for us to survive, make choices. And as we become adults, we realize that. Now, we have, not excusing the bad parents who do shit awfully, like hurt or abuse your children like that. Y'all people should be in prison, in jail, and should never see the light of day. But for your parents who might have made some missteps in the past, but still you did good by us as children, we appreciate and we love you. I love mine. My father was not a perfect man. I miss him. I wish he spent more time with us. I know, I understand. I remember when my aunt said something, you understand what's going on between your mother and your father. And I think, now I'm getting older, I realized that. There were some things my mom did and some things he did. And both of them could have been better. But again, that's in the past. And I think, it's a dope. I think I'm realizing that a lot more. Once you start getting these little grays, your hair get mature, you look older, you start realizing that. It's time for a cut and a shave. I think I'll go out, maybe around next month, do it. Actually, I'm planning to go on a trip, and because next Monday is my 300 episode, almost like, actually I have more than 300 episodes, but I misdated some things, and then one time my computer was not at work. I should have at least more than 300, and some ones I put in the wrong numbers. I think, and so I think I have a little more than 300, but just that I numbered some of them wrong. I can go back and change it, but it's too late now. So I'm just going to say this is technically more than it's over 300, but this is going to be the 300 episode coming up this Monday. And 300 episodes, that's pretty good. be consistent. I think missed maybe a couple of Muscle Talk Mondays, but that's how it is sometimes. But I am planning on going on a trip. I already made my reservations. I got to check one more thing because I know people say just go on by plane, and I can't afford it. Like again, I don't. I get disability, and I'm already about broke. I just had to pay. Last weekend was the rent and the light bill, and then the cable bill because I need Wi-Fi to keep so I can get on here. And just groceries and stuff. During the week, I do get some food stamps, but it don't last long. By the time I spend, you spend at least about so much, and I do get healthy choices benefits, but it used to be a little higher, but they took them down to like about $200, and that's not much. By the time $200. Now, if you give me $200 food stamps, I can really do something with that. I remember when during the pandemic, when we were getting the extra food stamps. Both me and my mom. We can stack up the refrigerator for the deep freezer. We have deep freezer here in the house. We can stack it up. Make sure you have something for next month. Then we had a bad storm, and then we lost. But then when that happens, our state will give us extra food stamps because of the loss of our food, and we can even buy food. Hey, it says hi. How you doing? It's Blizz Echo fanboy. Yeah. You want to hear a joke? Okay, go ahead, tell a joke. I'm waiting. I'm sitting here right now just talking. So tell a joke, drop it. But anyway, I appreciate all y'all. All the people who support my channel. Wait a minute, what do you say? Yes, be something. You see. Okay, potential the hell here says okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Okay, show. Say what's long in black? The KFC line. Actually, not really. I don't really go to KFC like that. You know, um, what's short and white? Your mama. I hope you like that one. I hope you like that one. Understand, my dude. I'm a middle son, and as a middle child, you have to be a smart ass. You have to, because here's the thing. Even though I have three older sisters, and there's my sister Mary and my sister Jean and my brother James. We're middle children, but in the anarchy, my sister Jean and I are middle children. My sister Mary is the baby girl, and my brother James is the oldest son. My sister Betty is the oldest out of my mother's children, and my brother Larry is the youngest out of my mother's children. Now my brother Carlton, Adams Carjo, he's the oldest child out of of the family. Out of the whole family, also my father's son, and I have a sister. She's the youngest out of the whole family, out of my father's children. But by my mother's stance, my sister Betty is the oldest, and my brother Larry is the youngest. And me, Jean, Albert, Jean, James, and Mary are the middles. But if you go like this, since my mother had, technically, my mother had a daughter, son, he passed. So my sister, my next sister, my brother, me, and my younger brother. So yeah, we'll say, Echo, okay, yeah, you done? Okay, yeah, bye, bitch. So, again, I'm a middle child. I'm good with, to come back. I have to be smart and quicker. So anyway, for Muscle Talk Monday, we're gonna have a little fun. I know you guys, we like to have some fun, especially we talk about, get a little, a little bit, because especially y'all guys, you love the buff muscular women, you love the big muscles, they excite you, they make you, So we have some fun on Monday. So join me and come, I'll make my announcement where I'm planning on going. I've dropped some clues here and there. but I make confirmation that I'm planning on going. And maybe with that time, if you want to donate to my trip, again, I have a PayPal, a Cash App, and a Venmo. I had a GoFundMe a couple of years ago, but that GoFundMe is dead. Somebody told me because it wasn't getting no donations, eventually got deleted. So I had to delete that account. So I had to delete it from my So if you want to donate to me, I just shout out to my sister, my cousin Barbara. She sent me $25 last week to my Venmo. She sent me some money before. I appreciate you, Barbara. I love you. Thank you. I miss our dear aunt or your dear mother. She was a great woman, and she's the one who always called me Joe Hines. That was my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. Because my Hines is on my father's side. My grandfather was a MacArthur. I never met my grandmother, Kay. Miss V. They call her Miss V. I mean, never met her because by the time I was born, she was gone. So it was nice to meet her. I grew up with no grandmothers. My mother's mother died of childbirth with her, and then my father's mother died before I was even born. I mean, when I was born, that's something I would love to meet her. I have my granddaddies, my granddaddy George, my granddaddy Grady. But it's not the same. You love your grandfathers, but I think grandmother's kind of special. You know, I had my great aunt Bert. She was named. I think my mother named after her. She became my granny. I called her granny. I think me and Larry called her granny because we were the last two that didn't have the experience of having a grandmother. She loved us. She loved both me and Larry like we were, and that like we were her grandchildren. We were her great nephews, but she loved us like we were grandbabies. I appreciate that. When her and my Uncle Reedy used to come back, I call him Uncle Reedy. I call her Granny. So that's kind of you call your uncle. Well, I had granddaddy, so I think he accepted that. She loved that. I remember when she passed. My great aunt Bert. My granny. So then I get to see them again, but not too soon. Not too soon. Not too soon. No, no, no. But anyway, I just came out here for a bit just to say thank y'all for your support, for y'all really really showing love for what I do on this for my channel, especially for the ladies who follow me on social media, especially on YouTube. My IG's growing bit by bit. Yeah, I hope you still can hear me. All right. You put a clip in. But doing this content and understanding what it takes to be a woman in the sport of bodybuilding. Like I said, truthfully, I'm not as dedicated as some of you ladies are. Because you ladies are really dedicated. Do what y'all do. I posted a video of a lady who I interviewed up at Crystal Howe. Crystal just competed last weekend in Texas. It was the Republic of Texas. Another lady also won both her overall and in women's bodybuilding Wednesday. That's Lindsay Contreras. I hate to pronounce the names, Lindsay, and she's planning on in a couple of weeks making her shot for a pro card at the USA's. And also another lady that interviewed, Lisa, Koikar, she's making her shot for a pro card at the Masters Championships, which is the Team Collegiate and Masters in Pittsburgh. I wish her all the best in that. I mean, Lisa, she's an amazing lady. She works with psychotherapy and people with patients. I might even, one that she wants to do. Maybe I reach out to her, and maybe we might do. Maybe I want to talk Monday on psychology and use her expertise. Love to pick her brain, and we can get some people on and we can talk about it. But also she went through it herself, and it's subject I think talked about before, but it'd be great to have somebody who has a bit more expertise on it, and understanding of psychology. Maybe we'll do it not this Sunday. Not this Sunday, maybe a Sunday After I'll reach out to her. I know she's busy and getting ready and prepping. So I'll reach out in a couple of weeks and see if we set something up. But we'll figure that out. So, I'm not gonna be on it too much longer. Just like I said, I just want to say thank you. Um, YouTube, even though the stuff is going through a lot, ups and downs, political stuff, and can't say this, say that, but still, um, try to. I'm gonna put a comment here. Say like this. Try this. Says. This says. I don't know what's much I can say. I got stuff working on. The Chicago Pro. I'm not watching it this year because, again, I'm saving for a trip, and also I bought some stuff earlier in the week, so I'm on the road. So and again, it's half-assed to me. They can have women's bodybuilding for masters, but not for the open. I get why. I get why, but I don't have to mean I have to understand why. It's frustrating. And I know some ladies, and we only have one lady competing in the Masters for women's bodybuilding. And it's, some ladies will probably prep for that show originally, but then everything went up in the air. And then now Tampa's going to get a lot of the bodies. Thanks a lot. But anyway, BS, that I got you. I got your little, but you got my little joke too. Who's short and white? It's your mama. So, again, folks, thank you again. I'm gonna go ahead and log off. I got stuff I got to work on. I got an appointment later today. So, and also I got some couple of interviews tomorrow. So that's 2 interviews with one day. So thank y'all. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to y'all for supporting my content. Congratulations to all the ladies who have been guests on my channels, upcoming shows you're doing. Some ladies are confirming we're doing some shows in next month, and some ladies confirming doing shows this week. I will post to talk about, I'm not really watching them, but I will post to talk about once the results are set up. So check out my channel, check out my content. Muscle Talk Monday, we'll have my 300 episode. You want to come on, join, have a little fun, join chat, shoot the shit with the great one, the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Not the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding channel, just the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. I got to create the great lemon AJ that day. Let Jake Wood become the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding. I'll be the one doing the talking. So thank y'all first. Enjoy the rest of your morning and have a rest of your week. Oh, and always, this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out.